Okay, today is gonna be more of a silent stream until I figure things out. I'm more than likely gonna just keep streaming until New York session, so we're gonna be here for 5, 6 hours. That's why I'm gonna be silent. I'm gonna be running errands in between, working on what I have to do in between. But we'll just go through yesterday right here. So yesterday, what happened was, is we were looking for shorts. Yeah, so we took a short at the rejection of this little trend line, and we took two more shorts here. But as it came up and came back down, I was thinking, hey, this might be a retest to this trend line in which we have a further continuation to the upside. So I reduced my exposure by 4 lots. In total, I was in six. We went up. I was still in one of the positions here. We shorted the top over here, took profit at the bottom. We hedged our position over here, so we bought 2 lots over here. We took profit at this top over here. We took another short over here, but as we put our stop loss to entry, it got hit, it got wicked and continued to the downside. This trade would have definitely been held if it wasn't for the timing. I did want to go to sleep here, so, and we did have news candle and New York session opening around this range, and we did have major volatility. So I closed 1 lot of the position, so half of the initial position, then I closed the half. So we netted around 200, 1% of the account. Nothing big, but we didn't lose. We made money. It's nothing to be afraid of. So pretty much right now, everything we thought would happen yesterday completely continued. So what are we looking for now? We're looking for further downside. So at least I'm looking for a break of this region or a test of this region to see how price responds. We might get a wick up, get some movement to the upside. If you see this little trend line here, maybe find some liquidity to grab a short here. Maybe we break out and find a short here or here. But for now, it's my bias is bearish based on the higher time frames. If we go to the 4 hour, we can see, hey, we had two candles. This one's going to close in 1 hour. If we close under this range, we're more than likely going to head down here. So we might wick here, have some volatility, and have a continuation into this zone, which we do have a bunch of wicks in and a bunch of bodies of candles closing within. So we can retest this area once again. That's around 50, 60 pips down from here. So that's pretty much the plan for today. And it's the same exact setup as we saw. Let's just go to the history. As we saw this whole week. So this week, if I'm not mistaken, it was more shorts, right? Yeah, yeah. So it was more shorts. It's just because we did test this and we tried to come back up to the trend line, but it just kept showing weakness and weakness and weakness. So I'm looking for a further continuation of this, at least onto here, and then we can reevaluate how it's going to continue or if it's going to bounce. But for now, we are waiting. There's nothing really telling me to enter a position right now, but I will 100% be alert and have my alert set up to see if I do see anything in my playbook or any type of pattern or any type of price action which is in confluence with my strategy. I'll definitely enter that and I will unmute my microphone to let everybody know what I am doing, when I am doing it, why I'm doing it. I'll be thinking out loud on this live stream. I don't expect people to watch this live stream, but in the future, if people do want to come back and say, who is this guy? Is he credible? Does he actually do what he says he does? Is he a little bit knowledgeable in what he does? How does he differ to other people? It's all available, you know. So I'm not expecting people to watch this, but I'm expecting people to understand that if they do want to test my credibility, everything I do here is live. I have a live account. Don't trust anybody without a live account, right? It's 500 leverage. It's very over leveraged, but it's a 20K account and I have no problem doing it. So pretty much, if a person doesn't do any form of live logins, giving you trades live, I want to say live stream their trades, I would not listen to them. I will say this every stream. I wouldn't trust somebody who's trying to teach me how to surf and I've never seen them surf or they're not surfing. They're just telling me how to do it. Why would I listen to, hey, here's how to drive a car, but I've never seen them drive a car. They don't want to show me them driving a car. It's like, hi baby, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Are you trying to mess about, or are you just trying to make money? You're trying to make money off of people because you realize this is hard. Trading is very hard. So somebody is not willing to show you that they know what they're doing. It means they got stuck trying to figure out how to make it work for them because it is hard. It doesn't work for many people. It's super hard. Why? Because you have to manage your emotions and manage risk. People say don't have emotions. I disagree with that. We're human. We're going to have emotions. Learn why you feel specific things when price is doing a specific thing. What happens after I feel that emotion? What happens before I feel that emotion? How does price continue after I feel a certain way? Is price actually, am I right? Is my instinct telling me? Because what I believe emotions are is your experience and your instinct telling you, hey, Yusuf, Mullah, there's something going on. A pattern is broken, something different is happening, and I feel a certain way. So I will do something about it. The market is not about knowing how getting everything right. It's definitely not about getting everything right. That's really low on the scale of probability. But what it is about is adapting. For example, when I entered my short here yesterday, would I close my short here at a loss and say, oh, I guess I was wrong? No, I accept the market oscillates. It moves up and down. It's a wave. Same way if I bought here and it went down, it would have came up. If I shorted here, it will go down and I think it'll eventually sorry, if I bought here and it went down, I think it will eventually come up at some point, right? But it's all about your sense of adaptability and how you manage your risk. I do not manage my risk by fully closing positions unless I say, hey, the chance of this coming back is super low, I'm not willing to risk it. But what will I do? I'll enter even more. I'll manage my risk in a way where I know I'm not emotional. I know I entered this short for a reason. I didn't enter it based on, oh, let's see if it will make me money. No, I entered it saying, hey, there was a rejection. Price is looking really weak compared to how it was over here with these big candles and big aggressive uptrend here, just left and righting. So I would say, okay, let me enter a 5 minute close off of this rejection on the trend line. But if it goes wrong, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna close my position at a loss? Even these, I didn't close at a loss. I just reduced my exposure, kept this one, entered even more short here, and we closed our trades at break even. Not even break even. We closed our trades for profit. Could we have left them and kept going? Yes, but I live to trade another day. I accept if I keep following my rules and I keep doing what I usually do, I'm going to end up catching a big fish, and that's what I'm here for. You keep fishing. And once you start fishing, you're gonna catch small fish. You're gonna catch small fish, but one day you catch a big fish. And what do you need in order to maintain that? You need to have a strategy, you need to have a plan, you need to have rules in which you follow and do not break no matter what, right? I accept. Hey, yeah, this is not attractive. This week, how much should we make? Or let's see, current month, we made 2,000 on this account, right? That's not attractive. That's not attractive at all. But what am I doing? What's my objective? My objective is to build this account around 23, 24,000, in which then we will be taking higher lot trades. We usually take 2 or 5, we'll be taking 10. We'll be taking 10. And that's when we get the serious trades where we can catch a short down to here, make 4 grand, get out, move on to the next day. Now, that's our objective. But our objective now is to follow our rules and just take what the market gives us and do not have anything we expect from the market. If you have expectations from the market, you're going to have corrupted emotions. And corrupted emotions, what do? They corrupt your logic. You can't think straight. That's the problem with most traders. So for now, this is what we are doing. We're waiting for a setup. We're going to be entering 2 to 5 lots, depending on the situation, depending on the setup we see. And from there, we'll be building our account this week to 23, 24,000. That's the plan. And excuse me, let me just delete this. And from there, we'll be taking higher lot trades. But let me just do a little bit of TA, technical analysis for those who don't know. Clear, clear. Rejection, 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 rejection. So now if this price comes here, I expect it to follow the same pattern. If it doesn't follow the same pattern, we'll know. And we'll get some impulse candles to the upside. So, for example, we'll have price come all the way up here, reject, get strong, get a little inverse head, and we start breaking out to this level. And then we follow the same rules. Is it going to break this level? Is it going to reject here? Or is it going to keep going and retest and keep going. Then we do the same thing at this level. So it's just repeating, repeating, and repeating and repeating the same rules over and over and over again. That's why I tell people trading is boring once you have it figured out. You know what you want to see and you know what you're expecting. But when you don't have it figured out, you're just every single movement of any candle is just gonna get you thinking about, hey, what's happening? What's going on? What's happening? Because you don't have a plan. Learn how to trade in between the lines. How to identify which movement is relevant. Is this movement here relevant to what I want if I'm shorting? Is this movement relevant if I'm shorting? This movement is relevant because it's going to bring us back up to a trend line. We can see if we reject, maybe add to our position. Maybe it breaks out and we close our position if we did enter here. But just a brief way I would manage risk. But for now, I am sitting, I am waiting, and I am not sure if we'll find any nice trades today. I was looking at it earlier this morning. This is some nice price action, nice oscillating, and all of a sudden you come here to where I start live streaming, and it's just more choppy. There's not that many fluid movements. So unless we come to this point here or we break this point, I don't really want to be trading in between these 2 points to see if we possibly break out or we reject, and then we reject and we come down to the zone. So we do have possible 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 pips to profit off of if we do find a position, if we do see one of our setups. But for now, I am muting my microphone. And if there is anything, and if anybody does come through here, I do not have the chat open, but I definitely will get that chat open. So if there is anybody who is here who's watching, they can feel free to ask me anything because I am here to answer questions and I am here to fulfill my credibility. I will be doing this for another month, so for the month of March, and everything will be up there. Whatever we make, we make. Whatever we lose, we lose. So this is it. Just get up the live stream. I never nap, but I napped today, and I woke up for London session. So beautiful. And there's one watching, and it's me. Nice. Whatever we lose, we lose. So yesterday I had a laptop and an iPad watching this, and they were both mine. But yeah, I will have my mic muted. Let me just test that it is actually muted because the first day I streamed it wasn't. And there's one watching, and it's me. Nice. So yesterday I had a laptop and an iPad watching this, and they were both mine. But yeah, I will have my mic muted. Let me just test that it is actually muted because the first day I streamed it wasn't. And there's one watching, and it's me. Nice. Yesterday I had a laptop and an iPad watching this. My audio from the live I'm watching and it's repeating it. I was wondering what was going on. But yeah, for now we're waiting for a setup. We'll see how price responds here. I am expecting it to fill this zone, right? If we do want to find some buys, it's possible, but my buys for today is down. So do I want to take buys? Sure, I can, but I'll actually wait for a sense of confirmation telling me, hey, yeah, we are possibly heading up. I don't want to just, you don't want to gamble and say, yeah, okay, there's a chance price goes up, so I'm going to take that 50-50 chance. Nah, I don't trade like that. If you want to trade like that, go for it. But in the long run, that's not profitable. At least that's what I've seen. I'm not going to tell you what's right, what's not, what's profitable, what's not, because everybody has a way. There's a streamer called Donvo, absolutely amazing streamer. Trades gold only, and the way he trades is very, very non-traditional. His stop losses are so far. His risk to reward on trades is like 0.1, 0.2. And I love it because you get this consensus from the trading community where, hey, only look for 1 to 10, 1 to 3, 1 to 4 risk to reward ratio, and over time, if two of them hit stop loss, the rest will take you into immense profit. حبيبي اشتبي شنو احنا we're playing Mario Kart, we're playing go-karting, we're going around in circles. Win rate and risk to reward. حجي, we're here to make money. If this guy realizes that, hey, if I put my stuff far away, it's less likely to hit and more likely to hit my take profit, I'm gonna do it. Great. I like people who do not submit to the standard of what traders think they should be doing. Because any actual profitable trader will never say, hey, this is not the right way, this is how you should be doing it. Habibi, we're here to make money. If you figured out a way to make money like that, great, do it. That's what a profitable trader would tell you. They recognize it's hard and they would tell you, oh, you figured out a way to make money like that? Bro, great. Anybody who tells you, hey, bro, no, you shouldn't be doing that, you should be looking for that. كل خرا عدي. Excuse my language. بس اسكت. I'm sick of these people charging you money for courses and telling you, hey, you shouldn't be doing this. حجي انت ايش عرفك? Show me you're trading live. Show me you're sitting there making money in front of people. Show me. And then you can tell me what to do and what not to do. Show me your portfolio, then you can tell me what to do and what not to do. But until you don't fill that prerequisite of showing me what you do, I don't want to hear anything about, hey, no, this is what you should do as a trader. Haji, don't take that narrative. What you should be saying is, this is what I do as a trader. This is what works for me. But you shouldn't be telling people in terms of trading, this is what you should do and this is what you shouldn't do. Right? This is what I do in terms of market psychology. This is what I do when I see price hit a level. This is what I do when I enter a trade. I put my risk to reward really high. I look for a high one. This is what I do. Not, no, bro, it's wrong. You shouldn't do this. تشعرفك. Who are you? انت منو شنو billionaire trader يعني? Who are you, man? What are you doing? Do you have anything up other than videos of saying here's how to use MACD and RSI? What's your objective? So pretty much this is what we look for, yeah, people. Okay, nice little start to the session was right here. We have nice little volume going up. We'll see if this offers us a continuation, because in the case that it does, we can get a little A, B, C. You break the A, you go up to the B, in which that's where our trend line is. So yeah, it's possible to find the buy if we do break here, but it's not something I like to do. So unless I have something really clear telling me to, yo, buy there. If I don't have, I use my intuition when I trade. I don't sit there most of the time. Of course, I sit there looking for setups, but if I get a feeling and my intuition is telling me, hey, this is probably the best course of action you can take right now, I'm more than likely take it. Intuition is based on experience. Now you as a trader have to figure out, hey, is my intuition coming from nothing? Is it based on something? Whenever somebody brings me a chart or tells me, hey, I think oil's gonna go down, I have to ask them this one thing all the time. Based on? Based on what? Show me. What is giving you the data to tell you, hey, this is gonna go up, this is gonna go down? Let the chart speak for itself. Unless you're talking about fundamental analysis, which is analyzing the economy based on the numbers we have, not technical analysis, which is looking at a chart. I'm more into technical analysis, although I utilize fundamental. Why? Because charts don't lie. Charts will, let's not say they don't lie, but they will lie to you less. They'll give you more or less false information than fundamentals. Fundamentals, you're relying on humans and people. And now you're involving a huge error called human error, where these people lie to you and tell you something's doing well. These people lie to you, tell you something's doing bad, when it's completely of the opposite. Pretty much why I stick to more of my technical analysis as opposed to fundamental analysis, but I definitely do utilize both. In terms of fundamentals, I look at CPI, PPI, PCE, interest rates, just the basic stuff that everybody looks at. I don't know if everybody looks at, but that's what you would assume, right? just eating a date and I'm ripping it out this little package. It's kind of tough. Yeah, there we go. I have alerts set here and I have alerts set under here. So let price do what it wants to do in between. So we'll figure it out. But for now I can do this. So session bias. Session bias rise and fill 2031 to reject. You want to reject or drop to 2020 or drop to 2026 and reject support. Okay, so session bias rise and fill 2031 to reject or drop to 2026 and reject support. So right here, 2031 around this range, which is where our trend line is, we're looking for a rise and a rejection onto that, or we just continue trickling down. We don't bounce off the support and we eventually break 2026, which is these wicks. If you look at it on the hour candle, it'll be very obvious. That's our buys. So whatever price wants to do in between, I'm not really interested in taking trades in between, but if something does change, we'll definitely stay attentive and stay focused on what we need to do. But for now, it's a waiting game, right? We're trying to see if this becomes weak, falls down. First thing I do is see if we have any news today. I'm on the other side of the world, so I have to put tomorrow. So we do have the GDP in 5 hours, which is interesting. That's at 12 o'clock, so 30 minutes after New York session. We'll definitely get some volatility there. If the numbers do come out green, we can just take a look at the S&P real quick. We do have a topping pattern, but what I am expecting in terms of GDP, numbers coming good, get a rise, possible double top, that would be beautiful. Double top, PCE comes in, and we start going and down. Comes in hot, and we start going down. That's kind of the scenario I would like to see. But for now, it's a waiting game. Nothing really we can do. Yeah, past 2 days of streaming have been nice. We made good money together. Okay, money together. So yeah, pretty much. Let's take it easy. Just a quick little update. So, we broke out of this range, right? This little range here. Now I'm waiting for it to come down. If there's any sign of strength here, I'm gonna go into some little longs with a very close to the validation zone. So let's just see how this turns out. If this starts to flip strong, I'm gonna be entering a little position. So pretty much. And as soon as it goes into profit, I'm putting stop loss to entry because we are in a downtrend and I don't want to be risking too much capital. what I'm looking at now is this hour close. This is not good for us. It's not good for buys right here. So you look at this hour candle close right under this zone. So what is this telling me? That this is weak. It's not that strong. So am I gonna take it out? No, I'm gonna see if this move is maintained because we do have some region for it to swing. Like I'm gonna let it swing around here, and then if we see some weakness, because this could be making a little wick like we did over here, and then we start rising. But it's just a decent point to take risk. There's a lot of volatility around these points, especially how we came down to this support before. We can get a little relief, set our stop loss to entry and just leave it, or it comes down to this range and we have to manage our risk like we always do, adding to the position, putting a stop loss, reducing exposure, cutting losses. We'll figure it out. But for now, it's just there's nothing really I can do except wait and see how this hourly candle responds to the close under this level. Interesting point in price is this for me. These couple of weeks. We rejected on these and now I'm trying to see how it's responding to these. So I'm gonna readjust this box right here. I'm gonna put it relative to the size of the wicks, and that's in confluence with this horizontal support, which is on this wick, on this zone, on this consolidation zone. So what I'm looking for is consolidation here or just a big bounce. We don't want to see a continuation. If we see continuation, we don't know where it's going to continue to because the next consolidation zone is right here. And when consolidation zones are next to each other, it just makes aggressive moves left and right because it knows where it can go. But if they were far apart, there's super low chance for things to move quicker because people know, hey, if I cut my buys here, it's gonna move a lot, and they're trying to keep their best. They're trying to do their best to keep it at that price. Because if they can keep it at that price, they'll stop it from moving to the next consolidation zone. But now, pretty much, I'm looking at this box. Let me just make sure I drew it with precision, because we don't want to have any data that's kind of wrong. So I'll draw it. I'll draw it like this, like this. That's in confluence with here. Yeah, but right here, right here. As long as it's in this box, I'll just leave it. But for now, it's just a waiting game. Because if things start to look ugly here, I'm just gonna hedge the position. And then we'll have net around like 2,000, 3,000 loss. But we'll lock it in at that. And we'll wait for it to go to the next zone, take profit on the short, and we'll figure out how we can manage our risk when price starts to slow down and consolidate. That's if it continues. But my bets are is that look how much this dumped already. From yesterday, we didn't even come up and test this. So for me, this is aggressive. This is aggressive, and for it to continue just from, let's say, just from the top to the bottom, that's 76 pips. For it to continue another 40, the probability is lower. Does that mean it can't happen? No, it just means the probability is lower. So what I am expecting here is at least a relief. And when we do get a relief, we can set our stop loss to entry. If it hits, it hits. It's fine. If it runs, great. We have our take profit around this region. We'll be looking to take profit around here, here top of this zone, around this wick. So yeah, at least there are things we can do. It's not nice to be in a position, especially when it broke one of your major levels, but it's not as binary as, oh, it broke the level, okay, let's cut the lows. For me, it's how is it responding to it? What's price action looking like when we're near this level? So yeah, pretty much. dog out for a walk, and I'll be back. I put my protection in just in case it goes positive, but I do have alerts just in case something happens and I can manage it quickly. But we'll be back. we're back. Okay, this is what I'm looking at right now. We have a little inverse head and shoulder. It's a reversal pattern to the upside. That's what I'm looking at. Second is we have a break of this trend line. So very clear. One, two, and as it breaks, we're getting some volume in. So when this moves around pips above this range, my stop loss is going to be at entry because I do expect it to get volatile. The take profit will remain around the same. We might close half and let 5 lots run with stop loss to entry if it does end up getting up there. But for now, we are just waiting. There's going to be some immense volatility coming in, and my bias is projecting that volatility take us up to the upside. So why? Two reasons is because we had this reversal pattern where it goes down, breaks out of the zone, comes down, goes back up, goes down again with a lot of wicks right here. So a lot of buyers coming in over here. And then we break what? We break this trend line, showing me that this downtrend there's less selling pressure in this downtrend. So at least we have a few points we could look at in the case that we have to manage our risk. So we can look at this trend line and we can look at this zone if this breaks and we still have this box. But our two local zones are this trend line here and this consolidation zone. And for now, we don't know where this will reverse to, so where I am taking it to is what I always do, is the next consolidation zone. If this trade were to go to the opposite direction, where do I expect it to go to? The next consolidation zone, which is right here. So that's just how I operate, and we will be waiting. It's still consolidating around our entry point, so I'm expecting some volatility to come in now. My bias is once again to the upside. So we will see, we will sit and we will see. We'll see how price responds to here. If we do get some volume coming in, our stop loss will be moved to break even, and I will 100% be respecting this because we are taking a buy in a downtrend, and this is a very aggressive trade. But because I'm seeing the setup I want to see and the outcome I want to see, which is this reversal pattern, break of a trend line, we have our 4 hour support right here. I'm just seeing many factors coming together in confluence to say that this will most likely be a profitable trade. Will I take it out exactly here? I don't know, but we're gonna be looking at least to take out this high and to test this range. And once we test this range, we can analyze for any further upside. But for now, it's just waiting. We're sitting on our hands. There's nothing much we can do. We do have our advanced protection set in so that if it does move up, excuse me, if it does move up 3.4, 3.6 pips, our stop loss will be moving to break even. So that's pretty much it. I think we should see it right now. At least it's up 2.6 right now. We have advanced protection for 3.6. So we'll definitely start to see that come into play and hopefully work. What we don't want to see is it to take our stop loss and rise. That would be terrible. So for now, it's a waiting game, and I try to put the stop loss at a best time possible for that when we do break. If we do close above this zone on this 3 minute, it would be something I'd want to see. 3.4. So one more move and our stop loss will be at entry. We can analyze 1 minute to see what's going on in a sense of closure. Okay, so that little sound right there, that was our stop loss to entry. So now this is a risk-free trade. We're gonna let it run. We're gonna let it do what it wants to do, and there's a high chance this just continues to the upside. Pretty much. Let's just wait and see, everybody. I don't like that stop loss. I don't like it at all. How quickly it ran down is not something I want to see. Just to wick my order. I really do feel this is gonna continue. So yeah. be looking for a 1 minute closure above this wick, and then I will put my stop loss to entry. It's just okay. This is what we want to see. So 30 seconds, and we can start determining if that stop loss will go to entry. So pretty much, happy trading, everybody. This is the volatility we want to see, and this is what patience brings you in these markets. How sad would it have been if it wicked and just continued like this? So my stop loss will be going to entry in 10 seconds. And what does this mean? That means we have an ability to make $2,000 for free, risking nothing. Nothing. There is nothing saying that this is gonna take money from me. So what we're waiting for is just a continuation, and we'll see what happens. Every time I put the stop loss back to entry, it just wants to keep driving down. So let's see that volatility come in. I would want to take profit here around this zone, but just based on how this is reversing and how aggressive this trend is, I am very certain this is just going to keep driving to the upside. And I'm talking some big upside, like here. So this is what I'm going to do right now, okay? This is exactly what I'm going to do. I will be going to modify my position, okay? I will be closing 5 lots, okay, right here. So we took profit, and then I'll keep the stop loss at entry. If this wants to drive, it wants to drive. But for now, we just made 860, $900. Oops, and I forgot about that take profit. Man, I forgot about that take profit, man. I forgot it was there. I was gonna remove it and say put the stop loss to the entry, close half of the position, and let the half keep running up here. Then we can reverse the position and take some shorts from here. But you know, this is what the market gave us. We came in yesterday saying, hey, we want to close this week at what? 24,000. We just got what we wanted out of today. So let's just do a quick trade review before we end the London session stream. I only usually like to take one trade per session, but we can just I can keep the live stream on idle and just see what we're gonna do next. So this is why we took this trade. Condition number one, right? And please, one thing I want you to pay attention to is how did I manage my emotions when we broke under here? Was I like, hey, I have to close this. This is gonna go wrong. No, I accepted drawdown as part of the game, right? So we have this 4 hour zone where price comes down, stops around this zone, comes up, price comes down, stops around this zone, comes up, price comes down, stops around the zone, goes down, goes up. So just we wicked onto here. We have major volatility around the zone, and volatility is our friend because it's gonna give us that quick money we want to see, right? I like to get in, get out. That was condition one. Now we go to the 1 hour, right? If we look even closer, we were near these wicks, but we broke that wick. So what did I do? I said, I think this is just a lie. As traders, we have to take information to determine which of these pieces of information is lying to me, which one of these is an outlier. So I said this is not a zone I would want to see after it broke, and then I moved on to say, okay, this is it. We drew our little yellow box and said as long as we're within this box, we're good. That was our 1 hour. Now we go to our 15 minute, right? Look at how these candles closed. So we had big red candles. So here we have, in terms of pips, 8.4, 14, 16, 10, 12, 18, 13, 7. So around this zone, we started weakening. Around here, these candles started becoming smaller relative to the ones we had. And I also said, hey, we had a massive dump today from yesterday. There has to be a point where this is going to relief, right? So what are we gonna do with that information? We're gonna say, okay, we're gonna look for buys around this support, the 4 hour support and the yellow box, which is where the other wicks were. Now, we went to the 5 minute, right? We came down, we broke out of this zone. So if we're in a downtrend, we're going down. If we break above this, it means this downtrend is possibly reversing into an uptrend. We went down, we came up, we didn't break here. We continued down. We went down, we came up, but we wicked above this zone right here. So if we were to look at that on the 1 minute, what would that look like? This gives me more than enough confirmation to sit there and hold the trade. Now, I saw this wick above here. I'm like, oh, okay, this downtrend is weakening because we broke the previous high, the previous low, and we made a high. So as soon as we came down and these candles started giving me strength that they're moving up, although they're red candles, I just went in knowing I have a tight invalidation zone, like around 22 pips, right? So I took the buy around here, right? And this was the bread and butter of the trade. We saw this trend line form around here. I went to walk my dog around here. But if you check this over here, let me go to my pen. We had one. We didn't know this trend line was existent at this point, but we had one. Here we can say, okay, hey, there's a pattern. Let's see if it respects it on the third touch, if it ever does touch it, right? And on the third one right here, we can say, okay, if this breaks out, we're going to get some heavy volume. We're going to start moving our stop loss to entry above this wick, and we'll all be good, right? Now, one more is this inverse head. We come down, we go up high. We come down lower, we come back up. And this is where we want to enter the next time if we were to take this trade. But because I was already in a trade, I used it as a, hey, this is a good time to hold the trade. So we came down, made the left shoulder, we made the head, we made the right shoulder in confluence with breaking out of this trend line, and we took our profits up here, right? As simple as that. This is a very aggressive trade. Why? Because we're going against the trend. It's a downtrend, and I'm trying to find buys? Exactly. That's the way I think. Serious money is made when you're doing different to what everybody else is doing. I recognize everybody's selling, but I know they're going to take their profit soon. Why? Because we just reached an interesting zone of support. Simply that. That's the foundation of my trade. So, if we just look at the 1 minute here, we can definitely add a little position. I never enter the same position, right? So if I were to enter 10 lots and I took profit on 10 lots, what am I going to do? Enter 10 lots again? That's not really what I do. Once I make a profit, I size down. People think, oh, I have more money, I'm going to size up. But no, I'm happy to walk away for today. And what if this is the same exact thing over here? So what am I going to do? I'm going to look for a 2 lot entry, and we're going to take the same exact theory we did, so that once we break above this and we start going into an uptrend, we start zigzagging, we make a high. Excuse, my pen is not working. But you can see the pen isn't working for some reason. But we go up, follow my mouse. We make a high, we come down. We don't come down lower than this. We make a new high, and we just go in an uptrend. We reverse. This is a reversal pattern, and that's what we're trying to catch. Let's refresh the page. I would say this is our first bigger size trade. It's not a massive size trade. I like holding my trades sometimes, especially when I catch these reversal patterns, right? I love holding them because the limit is all of this liquidity, right? But I kept it safe and we left our take profit and which just wicked the top of this local zone. And now that I'm looking at it, great idea. And that's what instinct is. That's what intuition is. If you look right here. This is what adapting to the market is. Based on how aggressively we were selling, I'm like, okay, today's bearish. What are we gonna do? We're gonna go to the 1 hour, right? And I typed in my session bias, right? Right here. Rise and fill 2031 to reject or drop to reject or drop to 2026 and reject the support. So we rise here to 2031, reject this trend line with the same theory we saw here, right? Where we want to break out of it. But we thought because we're bearish, we're going to rise up here, look for shorts here, reject this trend line and come back down here. Or the second scenario, which is what played out. We dropped to 2026, right? Which is where this wick was, where this consolidation was, where this consolidation was. And what did we do? We said that we initially wanted to reject the support. When you bounce off support is when you go to the support, which is what we did, and when you go up from the support, which is the opposite of what we were expecting. Now, am I one to say to me, hey, you had a plan, you didn't follow it? No. The market showed me that I have to adapt to the current situation. It made me think, hey, there's a lot of selling going on here. What's the probability of something to continue selling off in the same in the same with the same amount of power and same amount of momentum? So 150, it's just unrealistic for it just to keep going down without any news, without anything happening. Now we're only in London session, not New York, which is where more of the volume comes in. So that's what we're looking at. Simply, we saw on the 5 minute, once we reached our zone, we said that we wanted to reject and break from, and then we would find shorts. But we came down, we went back up, we broke here, and I was like, hey, this candle looks strong. I'm just gonna take the trade here. If I need to enter more, I'll enter more. But for now, I got no problem holding it in this zone. And whoever's watching this, if anybody is watching this in the future, and you come back to see who is Mullah, who is Mullah Trades, I want you to pay attention to one thing. How was I responding in drawdown? And how would your other favorite influencer respond to breaking a zone or breaking a level? Do you notice that more people would say, hey, I'm going to cut my losses? And if I take 10 trades and with the same rules and I cut my losses where I cross a trend line or I cross an invalidation zone, I'm gonna be right more of the time, I'm gonna be profitable. No, I saw this trade as an idea in the beginning. I'm not wrong. It's just about when it starts to go up. When it starts to go up, that's the question that makes you money. But the trade doesn't have to instantly go into profit as soon as you enter. And that's one distinctive quality I outlearned out of my system. I used to be like that, where hey, it crossed my zone, okay, let me take it out and I'll go back in, because if I take 20 trades over the 20, I'll be more profitable, right? Because I follow these rules. But now I shifted my rules, and that's what adapting to the market is about. But this is our London session. I appreciate anybody who tuned in, which I know was nobody because there's one viewer and it's me. But whoever's watching this in the future asking, who is this guy? What does he do? Pay attention to the market psychology. Pay attention to how I break down my trades. I try to be very thoughtful about what I do. I'm very passionate about what I do, and I believe there is nobody better who can read a chart like me. Call it me being cocky. But whether my confidence is true, whether my confidence is a delusion, I'm going to have an advantage over you. My delusion will allow me to take risks that you would never take. If it wasn't a delusion, I am taking risks that you would never take. It's a good night. We'll be back, possibly New York session. It's Mullah Trades. Have a blessed evening.